Well, good morning. I made it up here yesterday afternoon. I will be up here a couple of days cleaning the area up around the cabin, inside the cabin, and getting it secure for the wintertime. This is an off-grid 26-acre hunting camp with a 16 by 16 cabin with a bedroom loft in northern Michigan. It doesn't appear that the previous owner has used it in a while, and the forest started growing in around it, as it will do when not in use. When I first looked at it last month while my wife and I were on vacation enjoying the fall colors in northern Michigan and visiting with family, I noticed it had great bones, but everything else inside was in disrepair and had to go. There's an outhouse on site, and trust me, that's one of the first things to go. I'm going to build a proper outhouse and get rid of that J-John that's been camouflaged. That's a normal job site J-John that has the bottom cut out of it. Don't like it. Getting rid of it. I'm going to build a traditional wood outhouse, something a whole lot nicer than that. Something anybody'd be happy to go in and sit on. If you take a little look around, you can see a few items out there around the edge of the cabin. That's all stuff somebody brought up here and used to target practice on at some point in time, and they just left it there. So all that's going to be picked up. It's not much. Everything around here is generally around the cabin. Got some old rotted plywood boxes that they had firewood in. Cabin needs painted on the outside. It's got some kind of it's one of those large road signs that's been taken down. It's kind of like a real thick tarp material. The inside, there's no mold. All the bones are great. I'm just going to clean it out, make it a new fresh palette to work on, put the things in there that I want in there, and get rid of everything else. You can see it's covered with an old billboard tarp. It's like that over the top. I've looked underneath it. All the wood is good. I think he just put it up there because he wanted to make sure it was not going to leak. I'm going to be putting a metal roof on there and redoing some siding. I guess that was his original place right there when he first moved out. Started using this for a hunting cabin. That's going to be towed off. It's full of trash. There's nothing good in it. All the grass and ferns have grown up around it. That's already a stack of stuff I've cut just to open up the driveway to get in, and you can see all this little brushy stuff around in this area. That's all got to be trimmed out just to open it up, make it cleaner. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Supposed to have 2 or 3 days without snow up here, so hopefully I get some stuff done. Right now I'm just concentrating on the inside, getting it cleaned up. I can take some measurements, make some notes, and know what I'm going to need to bring with me next time I come up here. There's some expanded metal on it. It's great for cleaning off your shoes before you go in. It's caving in, so I'm going to change that. I'm pulling out some of these old cupboards. I'm also pulling out this kitchen area. It has a drain that goes outside the building, just like a lot of off-grid places. But all this is coming out. That's my cot and sleeping bag where I spent the night. Some of the inside walls, they're OSB, and they're just kind of tacked up there. There are places where there's no insulation that needs to be insulated. That's the loft. I don't know if it's easy to see. But there's an old bed up there that's going. But I'm going to make a list of what needs to be done and prioritize it. My plans for the next 3 days to gut the interior and get it hauled down to the landfill. So I'm going to get with the program. This is my junk pile. Most of this come out from the inside last night. Last evening was beautiful. Not quite a full moon, but bright. I had a fire and burned most of all the wood and cabinets that I pulled out of the cabin. I left some of the OSB to cover the non-burnable stuff I am hauling to the landfill in the spring. I didn't want it blowing around through the trees, creating more work for me when I return next spring to continue my project. Well, I've got all the cabinets pulled out of this. This thing was very poorly insulated. That's going to change. I'm going to pull this OSB down, get it down to the frame. So you get the loft. There you go. I got everything. There was an old bed. There's some old stuff up here. Still got to sweep it up. All this siding on the inside is going to come off. Then I'll have it where I want it. Well, there's at least one good thing about having to have these masks for the last 2 years. There's mice nest inside the insulation. I'm pulling all this out. I don't want to breathe it. Good thing I had a couple extra in the truck. I've got part of the OSB taken off. The insulation pulled out of the walls. There's a few areas, had some mice, got rid of the nest, working my way around. Still got this other half to do over here. I'm going to continue on with it. I'm starting to think the guy that built this cabin worked on these roadside advertisement signs, because every piece of plywood in here some type of advertising. You can see Big Boy over here. Everything's facing in instead of out, which was a good idea. We don't want this on the outside. And also, the outside is covered with the newer stuff. It looks like a tarp. I think you use that tarp to cover it, keep it from leaking. I didn't see any kind of holes or any kind of leaks in this, which is a good thing. But I'm gonna go through and do the inside and also the outside, re-roof it with a metal roof. You can see I've got a pretty good size pile going here. In the spring when I come back, I'm gonna haul this all up to the transfer station. Some of it come from outside, it was spread around here, and some of it come from inside the cabin. I just needed a place to get it out of the cabin. I've got a big stack of it here ready to go. I've also got a pretty good stack of tree trimmings. Bunch of little shrubs have grown back up in here because it hasn't been used in quite some time. That's where I was burning everything. I got a little bit of insulation to clean up. Well, I'm back at it again this morning. I had to run into little town, get a motel room between the smell of the smoke and the mud from the rainstorm yesterday. But first, I'm going to finish my coffee. Oh, nothing like a nice hot cup of coffee to warm you up when it's 47 degrees outside. Gorgeous morning. Love this kind of stuff. I've got all the insulation, all the OSB off the inside. There were cabinets in this corner. This little area was like a kitchen area with a sink. I pulled all that out. And then there was some other cabinets in this corner. And we're done. It's all boarded up and I'm ready to go. Well, I've got everything done inside that I needed to get done. I wanted to get this stuff done before snow flies. Got it done, so I'll be back in the spring to finish up what I need to do on the inside to make it cabin livable. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on this new cabin I've picked up and the work that I'll be doing on it. It'll be done in phases. This is the first phase. I'll be back in the spring to do a little bit more. I appreciate you sticking around and watching. If this is something you enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing and check out some of my other videos that I have. I enjoy outdoor adventures and the things associated with it, and I hope you do also. Thank you for watching, and God bless. We'll see you next time.